Okay. Hey, YouTube, it's Rack60. I don't know what happened. I did a recording 20 minutes already, and I don't know, my phone must have updated during this, or for some reason the AI prop popped up, and I was just confused as hell what just happened. So keep that in mind. I'm currently tired, and this is recording this at a really early time, and I just really like to go to bed, but at the same time, one of those people, if there's something on my mind, I just gotta think of a way to get it out, right? Write it down, draw it out, whatever. Tell somebody about it, and this is what I'm doing, right? With that out the way, did you know there's 5 generations of this controller? Yes, five. BDM 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, five. What does that matter to you as the average consumer? Nothing. You know why it means nothing to you? Because at the end of the day, um, from the average consumer point of view, you're supposed to be able to go to your store, whatever you buy electronics from, the way they have set everything set up, right? You're supposed to be able to go there, buy the controller, knowing you have the latest and greatest controller on the shelf or whatever they have in stock, right? Could be back stock or whatever from last month or whatever. You're supposed to have the latest and greatest controller or whatever they have on stock, right? You're supposed to be able to go there and buy a Dualsense controller, not a Dualsense point 0.5, point 0.3, point 0.4, whatever. It's not be supposed to be all these different kinds, right? It's supposed to be just one controller that works on the PlayStation 5 at this moment of recording. That may change in the future, but like I said, you're supposed to be able to go down to the store and buy one controller only, and it's supposed to work with the PlayStation 5. It may need an update or whatever because it's been sitting there and it hasn't been updated. But yeah, that's supposed to be like the whole scenario of you going down to the store and getting latest greatest DualSense without even thinking about it. And mind you, they all look the same. Yes, all these revisions, BDM 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, they all look the same. So before all of you say, well, but I want the latest and greatest one, that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. If you think about it, I'm going to let you know why that doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter because they all look the same on the outside, with a few exceptions, right? Limited editions, special editions, whatever. Um, Custom third party stuff like Scuff, AIM, Hex Gaming, all these other side third party people. At the end of the day, it's DualSense. So if you're thinking, well, 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 I buy AIM controllers. I never had no problems. They're a DualSense at the end of the day. They're a regular ass controller with a bunch of extra crap on top of it. Don't get me wrong though, all the extra stuff they put on it is awesome. AIM gets cool back buttons and shells and paint jobs and all this other stuff, right? That's cool, right? Same thing with what's it, Battle Beaver and all these other people. That's all cool and all, and that's up to you as the consumer to decide where you want that stuff or not. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's a dual sense, so keep that in mind when you buy these $200+ controllers. That at the end of the day, they start out as a regular PlayStation controller, and I don't know. Depending on what type of consumer you are, you kind of already know this stuff, right? If you're a car guy, um, and all you buy is like Porsche or a Chevy or something like that, or Ford or whatever you begin buying every year, you know what to expect, right? You know how it's supposed to drive, what's it supposed to sound like, da 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 da. Same thing with the DualSense, that if for some reason you have some type collection or whatever, and you have to buy every DualSense that comes out, you know for a fact that whatever version they come out with, as far as the paint job or the box or whatever, it's supposed to perform exactly the same, unless it's advertised that it's supposed to do something different, like the DualSense Edge. That's a lot, right? So hopefully you understood all that, right? So with that being said, there's a new version coming out. It's a rumor. Keep that in mind. This is going off a rumor. I don't really like making videos off of rumors because they end up either being wrong or people want even more videos about this rumor or that rumor. So keep that in mind, and this video might be deleted after that if the rumor um, is untrue or somebody's made this crap up overnight. I hate that, but I just hate having stuff up that's untrue or just completely made up from one source. But I made the video, so hypocrite much. But anyway, I just thought this would be exciting to talk about because people have been wanting a new revision for like ever. Ever since the PS5 Pro, I think they had the revision BDM-40 or 50. I'm not sure which one comes with the system these days, but I'm sure someone in the comment section would tell me. Or maybe it's on Reddit somewhere. Someone bought a brand new console and said, "Hey, my controller looks different than everybody," and lets everyone know what comes with the system. But the only reason, the way you can really tell is, I think, by like the triggers. Like there's supposed to be like a metal pin or something you're supposed to look for, or they have like a certain molding that's different. Um, Secure code on the back that people can scan. Certain serial numbers you're supposed to look for and stuff like that. There's a whole list of stuff you're supposed to look for if you're looking for a certain particular version of the controller. And this only makes sense for people who are modding or repairing controllers. Um, but like I said, to the average consumer, it doesn't really make a difference between for you because at the end of the day, they all look the same. The boxes all look the same. Well, mine don't look the same. Well, for you in particular, if it doesn't look exactly the same, you might want to check on Reddit and other places to make sure you actually bought it from a legit place. Unfortunately, I see this a lot on Reddit where people say they bought it from a name brand store, Target, Walmart, Best Buy, blah blah blah, whoever you got in your country or whatever, right? And they said, I think it's fake. It was too cheap. It was It's like consumers need to do their own research these days. They can't, unfortunately, they can't just go walk. The Unfortunately, like I said, they the way things supposed to be set up, right? It's supposed to be that consumers are going into any store that sells these products, right? And supposed to get the latest and greatest and name brand stuff. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. The world we live in, there's a lot of people selling fake and third party and off brand stuff. Because, like, obviously, everyone wants that little piece of that money. And I get it. Everybody want to make some money. Everybody was trying to live. Everybody trying to keep it moving. With that being said, though, like, the average consumer is screwed, though, if you're not paying attention to this stuff. And like I said, if you go to the big name brand stores, um, you're guaranteed to get what you're supposed to be getting. Will you like the prices? No, but it beats getting scammed and wasting your time, gas, money, and all this stuff, running back and forth, getting something that's fake. And like I said, we're in the age of fast internet, so you can look it up basically if it's something supposed to be legit or not, or there's websites dedicated to this stuff now. Like I remember at some point that was never a thing. We was just spitballing, just going off this random theories of what controllers were real or not in the beginning. Like dead ass. I made videos about this stuff. Like I made videos about like a fake one that looked 1-to-1 almost of these controllers. And unfortunately, I don't have that controller anymore. Like, I got rid of it. Because, like, for me, I got confused myself. I was just like, which one's which? And I feel bad. I kind of wish I kept it now at this point, but I kind of wish to see, did it get an update? Did Sony block those controllers? But like I said, unfortunately, I don't have that controller, and I went back to, I don't know where I got it, Amazon or something like that. I went back to try to buy that same controller again, but Amazon just nuked every listing that had those type of controllers. Like, I don't know, maybe someone reported that video, or it was maybe there's Amazon people watching these videos. Like, shout out to Amazon, but dang, bro, like you like, I know whoever reported that stuff, shoot, they just nuked everything, And I feel bad because, like, I thought it was a decent controller. You can use it on both the PS4 and the PS5. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is a knockoff controller. And people would get angry because, like, that was the part of the reviews on that controller, which was people were complaining. It's like, I bought this for my kid and I thought this was a Dualsense. And it's just like, really? You really? Nowhere in the listing did it say it was a Dualsense. Not one word did it say it was a Dualsense. But yet people went at you. I just don't understand. People had to go out your way to do that. Like, you had to go out your way to see this controller, click add to cart, and buy it. Like, there's no way you did that on purpose. I mean, no way you did that on accident. I mean, you had to do this on purpose. And people were dead ass in the review section was saying, giving it 1 stars and said, I can't play my PS5 games. I thought this was be a cheap DualSense, or I called Sony to repair it because it was acting funny. It's like, really? Where does it say it's Sony on there? Like, did they say to call Sony in the instruction manuals? Like, where are people coming up with these ideas that I don't? I was just baffled by that. But like I said, all those listings are nuked. Like, any video that you see people promoting these type of controllers, you ask them for a link, the link doesn't work. Like, I don't know who reported it, Amazon or Sony, but they nuked all those controllers. Like, you cannot buy one unless you want to go on a shady website overseas or something and buy it by a third party. Then maybe you can do it. But at that point, why risk it? Right? Like, why spend upwards to a DualSense to get a knockoff that may not work and may harm your system or may explode or whatever? Like, why do that? At that point, just buy a used DualSense, get it repaired or clean it up, whatever, and just go from there. Like, dead ass, you can go to eBay and other places, get a broken DualSense, and my advice: get one that says stick drift. You'll be safe. I know you be like, what? But I need another controller because my current one has stick drift. Okay, just think of it this way. Get one for cheap, like $30 is your limit, right? Get one for 30. If there's a sale at the big name stores, go for that. Then, obviously, go for brand new. Obviously, if there's a pawn shop nearby, go for that one. Goodwill nearby, you just happen to see a DualSense, go for that. The mom and pop store, the grandma's at the counter and she's like, "You want this controller, young man? I'll give it to $5." You better hand her a $5 bill and walk that $5 store. You better ask no questions. You better like, "Oh, thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You have a good day." Shake her hand, hug her, kiss her on the cheek, and all that. You a right young man. I like you. You come back anytime. You better damn well. You better come back. She's gonna have cookies and everything for you. You better go back to that store. Shit, DualSense for $5, but you better go back to that. You best not tell nobody about it either. You be like, "Hey, I got a $5 DualSense." You go back to that store, grandma charging $100 for everything. Oh, thank you, little kitty. You got the word out. I was charging too much cheap for the everything. I shoot, this bad boy $100 now. Oh, you still want it? No, I'm good now. Well, dang, I thought you was cool. Like I said, I'm rambling on, going crazy, but yeah, there's deals out there though. Like, so you don't have to go that route. Um, just follow, like I said, the used route. It may be icky. Ugh. Have someone who don't mind cleaning up stuff. Have them clean it up for you. Bury at you. Uh, Go to GameStop or someplace like that too. But yeah, I know GameStop, they don't clean shit either for some reason. I don't know why. Just every time I've been at GameStop, all the controls look nasty as hell. I'm like, bruh, you let people trade it in like that? Do your job. Clean that. Clean that. Take it apart. You got all the screwdrivers and stuff behind the counter. But that's the whole uh, GameStop. They all right, but man, some of the stuff is just be sticky and dirty. It's like, bruh, you selling top price for them mugs. The Wii remotes and all this other stuff just dirty and browned and smell like a daycare and stuff. Like, what in the world? Like I said, 5 generations of these bad boys. For the average consumer, you won't be able to tell the difference. There's supposed to be a new version coming out, V3 or whatever. It's a rumor. We'll see what actually happens. Why am I making a video about a rumor? Because like we haven't heard any news about any new Dualsense lately. Yes, I know about the different limited editions and the giveaways. And all. I'm keeping track of this stuff, like silent, like mentally and silently. But as far as like taking notes, like creating a whole list of this stuff, it's kind of hard to keep up at this point. There's people on Reddit that are doing a better job than I am at this point. So I kind of just like dead ass. This copy the link from their post and send it to people because like it's just getting kind of hard to keep up at this point. All the different revisions. Uh, but yeah, this new revision is supposed to be better than the previous ones, and they said that about all the other ones. Because the last generation was supposed to have better battery and all this stuff and build quality. Actually, it was a lot cheaper. Actually, they did have new thumbsticks on the previous generation. The triggers were different, and the rubber was, I guess, kind of better. I don't know. I don't have the Bdm-50 right in front of me, so I wouldn't know. Um, Apparently the I can't think right now. The DualSense Edge is going to get a revision too. I'm hoping a new battery on that one too. Um, but yeah, we'll see. This is just a rumor. Oh, you're probably wondering why do I have batteries here and that Microsoft controller? Because like I said, it's supposed to have a new battery, right? It's supposed to be removable. And I have these batteries here because, like I said, I always dealt with electronics that have removable batteries until I got like a new cell phone, laptops and stuff like that. But for the most part, I always dealt with electronics for the most part that have removable batteries, and I always enjoyed that because I can just go replace the battery or replace the adapter and keep it moving. But like I said, like I'm running into these issues where I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to swell up now. These different batteries are supposed to be used for different things. This is for the camera that I would use for to record my YouTube videos. So that's another reason why I don't use that camera anymore. It still works just fine. Everything's fine. Yada yada yada. It's just that's why I don't sit down with the big fancy lights and editing and stuff because hey, my batteries are starting to swell up, and I gotta replace all those before I even use the camera because that's dangerous and it'll explode on me. That's just gonna be a bad time. And same thing with this PSP battery. Fortunately, I caught this somewhat early, but yeah, you as as someone who has several different devices still, you gotta check these batteries because they will explode in your devices if you haven't checked them out in a while. So yeah, do your dual did ugh, you know what I'm talking about. Just do your duty to check on these things if you have these many things in your house, because we're moving towards a future where everything's electronic only. And yeah, that's gonna be fun. Hopefully I'm still around making videos around at that time. But if not, maybe you can look back at this video. Maybe YouTube will be still around then. Maybe all robots will take over. Maybe aliens or something. Maybe that meteor that was supposed to hit finally does and just wiped us all out. Wouldn't that be nice? But like I said, the new revision, it's a rumor. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm gonna have to take this video down because I don't really like doing too many videos on rumors. Then they turn out to be untrue, and then people will send around in the comment section, ha ha ha, you made a video about a rumor and it's not true. He he, blah blah blah. It gets annoying, and I'm just like, I like to stick to facts, but for me, this is too exciting, and it's been on my mind for like a good minute, so I want to make a video about it. But yeah, hopefully were. I hope they listen to the consumer feedback that people calling them and um, requesting certain things, um, like in the customer support, like dead ass. Like I don't call Sony for different things because why would I? It's like I said, I like to repair my own things if possible. But the very few times I do call Sony, it's usually like an account issue or a beta alpha version of a game isn't working and the developers aren't responding in an email or something. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just send a support, ticket to Sony themselves, and maybe they'll resolve it or get on the developers to fix something, that type of stuff. Or, like I said, being in between, I guess, both sectors, consumer and manufacturing, being in this unique um, position, where how both sides operate. Occasionally I have consumer based type of problems where like something that I'm supposed to, buy from the manufacturer or something like that, it stops working like everyone else, and I just do like everyone else. I call the numbers, call the support teams, hey, is this something that's normal, supposed to happen after so many years? And they're like, yeah, bro, it's normal. We want to repair it. Yeah, okay, we'll send you a box. It'll take us 2 weeks to fix it, whatever. But with that being said, I think I'm wrap up this video. It's already been 20 plus minutes. Most of you went to sleep or did your TikTok videos or dances or uh, took out trash, did a backflip, did a barrel roll, landed on your neck, went to the hospital, got it fixed, came back. Your wife cussed you out, your girlfriend cussed you out, your side piece cussed you out, your boyfriend cussed you out, your husband cussed you out. That's a lot of folks in the house. All them folks cussed you out. The dog cussed you out. Everyone turned around, looked at the dog, confused, and said, "Wait a minute, the dog just talked." And the dog just barked and just walked away, and the whole situation just got weird. But anyway, last thoughts in the videos. Like I said, it's been over 20 minutes already. Um, I hope the rumors are true. Consumers are getting tired of the same problems, trigger issues, thumbsticks, stick drift, battery issues. I feel bad for people who are buying this stuff brand spanking new. I haven't bought stuff brand spanking new in years. I buy stuff used on the used market, secondhand, whatever. Yes, it gets gross and weird at sometimes. You might have to meet somebody at the back alley, down the street from a police station, whatever you gotta do. Hand them a $20 bill and say, "Hey, you getting rid of that Dualsense right quick?" And you get it and get home, and it works perfectly fine. But that's been my experience. That may not be everyone's experience, but I guess I've been getting lucky, I guess. Or, like I said, online, eBay, Facebook, wherever people do this stuff at, right? As long as it's safe with adults and like well lit places, you get what I'm going with this. But But yeah, um, I hope they listen to the consumers because another revision again. I hope it's not even cheaper than the BDM-50 that's out, which it's cheaper and better for them and the repair people like I said, people who repair this stuff. It's easier to work with. I heard because everything's plastic and everything else easy to replace. Even though Sony themselves aren't sending out replacement parts, but there's enough controllers and stuff going around in the wild that you can just buy another one, swap out the parts, and just call it a day. But yeah, from what I've been told, there's new revisions coming out. The new Slim console, new Pro console, and new controller. So, like I said, be prepared for that. Want to trade up for it or sell your old version? Cool. But the ones you got now, keep those. Like I would say, just keep those. Update everything you need to do, or keep it in the box or whatever you're doing. Um, I'm just worried. Like I said, I'm worried about the battery issue. That's something that people are going to have to deal with. And the Dualsense and other stuff later down the line is swelling up batteries. But maybe it's going to be different because the batteries are built different now. But that's one thing I'm concerned about: the battery swelling up in these things. Um, Stick drift, rubber rubbing off, uh, battery, like I said, battery issues. The triggers are still having issues. People are getting trigger jam in the newest models and the DualSense Edge. I'm confused on what's causing it. I'm not looking for blame, but like at first I thought it was like the developers not understanding how the DualSense work, but there's been many developers proving me wrong. Like uh, let's see, Back for Blood did a good job with that with the DualSense Edge. Um, who else? Call of Duty, of course, they always do a good job. Some of the indie games do good jobs too. Uh, I just say I don't know like who messes up on what end though. Like it's like like I said, I'm not familiar with the developer tools these days. Obviously, I can't go into naming different ones, but like I said, like obviously there's popular ones like Unreal Engine, and you technically could program that stuff in where like the DualSense triggers are supposed to reset themselves after certain points. Like say you're reloading a gun, or your character picks up something or throws it or something. Like those are the type of examples. Uh, but I think that has to be programmed to do that. It's not an automatic thing. But that's like a whole nother thing about the trigger system. That's like a whole nother beast that people have to deal with now. It's a simple system but complex at the same time. If anybody wants me to really dive deep into that, let me know. But I would have to get a lot of feedback on that. And if people really want that, I don't really feel like I'm gonna be smart to make a video about that from one comment. But if a lot of people want that type of video, cool. Because I've been trying to do some research on that. How's that work? And like, what's the issue? Like, why is everybody having so many problems getting the haptics to work? Like, I know Sony doesn't readily just give out that, like, the code to make that work. It's something you have to request, which that makes sense because, like, with all game development, you have to contact the company and let them know, hey, I want to make something for your system or product or whatever. And then you go through the whole product, I don't know, managing it, whatever the process they call it, workflow or whatever. And they help you through it, sign you up for stuff, give you tools, and you agreed not to sue them or steal their technology or talk about it, blah 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 blah. And you get to work on stuff and make cool stuff for people. But 30 minutes. Wow. Yeah, most of you are probably asleep or walked away by now. But for those of you who stuck around for that long, appreciate you. I need a thumbs up for all of you guys that stuck around. You know, um, yeah. Peace.